Hello students, today we are going to talk about word stress. We're not going to talk about worried words, we're talking about which syllable is stressed in a word. So let's start with what is a syllable? The syllables are the sounds in a word. So a one-syllable word has one sound, like learn, one sound. That's the word. A two-syllable word, teacher. Two sounds, teacher. One word. Three syllables means three sounds, important, important. Three sounds, one word, and so on. Conversation has four syllables. So, word stress is which one of those syllables is said the loudest, or maybe is held a little bit longer, and the other ones are quiet. The other syllables are quiet. So the good news is that in any word, there is only one syllable that will be the stressed syllable, and it's always on the vowel. And it's important in English, not in all languages, but it is in English. Understanding word stress will help you in hearing someone who's speaking English, especially if they're speaking quickly or if you're on your cell phone and it's a bad connection. So the way that you can practice this is, like I've said before, practice reading English out loud for 5 minutes a day. It will help your pronunciation, and these rules you can use when you're reading. You can't count syllables when someone is speaking. You're focusing on what they're saying, not the sounds. But when you're reading, these rules will help you figure out which syllable is stressed, and then that will help you when you're listening or speaking. Here's an example. Is this a photograph or is this a picture of a photographer? Photograph, photographer. Hear the difference? So let's get to the rules. The stress is on the first syllable in most two-syllable nouns and most two-syllable adjectives. Let's say these words together. Present, present. Export, export. China, China. Table, table. Present can be a noun or an adjective. Slender, slender. Clever, clever. Happy, happy. What about most two-syllable verbs, though? And look at two of these words are also nouns. Present, it changed to the last syllable when it became a verb. Export, now it's a verb. Let's say it together. Present, present. Export, export. Decide, decide. Begin, begin. So the word present can be a gift, a noun. Present can be an adjective, as in I'm here, I am present, or it can be the verb present. So the word stress helps you know the meaning of the word. So here's another rule. All those words that end in S-I-O-N and T-I-O-N, it's the second to last syllable. The ones that end in ic, I-C, again, second to last syllable. Now, I don't expect you to count syllables when you're listening to someone, but when you're reading and you see these words and you say them out loud, you'll begin to learn the word stress. So let's say these together. Television, television. Revelation, revelation. Congratulations, congratulations. Graphic, graphic. Geographic, geographic. Geologic. See, whether it was graphic or geographic, graph was still where the stress was because it's the syllable, right, the second to last syllable. Now we're at the third from last syllable. Definitely not counting that when you're talking to someone, but when you're reading, you can. So those CY and TY and PHY and GY words and words ending in AL, all of those words, the stress is on the third from last syllable. So let's practice. Democracy, democracy. Dependability, dependability. Photography, photography. Geology, geology. Critical, critical. Geological, geological. We're almost there. One more rule, and here's on compound words. So for compound nouns, the stress is on the first part, just like on the two-syllable nouns. So let's practice. Blackbird, blackbird. Greenhouse, greenhouse. For the compound verbs, it's similar to the two-syllable verbs. It's on the second part. Understand, understand. Overflow, overflow. For compound adjectives, the stress is on the second part. So bad-tempered, bad-tempered. Old-fashioned, old-fashioned. That one's going to be a little bit more complicated, but you get the drift. Now, all of this would be very hard to be thinking about while listening to someone when you're trying to understand what it is they're talking about. But I have a secret for you. Dogs. So, here's the secret. If you are looking at a word and you pretend it's the name of your dog and you are calling your dog to you, then you will emphasize the most important syllable. So these two dogs are Lucy and Molly. If I was calling them, I'd say Lucy, Molly. So if I see a word, conversation, conversation, then I will figure out which syllable is stressed. And here come my dogs now. I'd better end the lesson. If you want to know more, go to EnglishClub.com. They have all sorts of lessons on pronunciation. Gotta go, gotta take care of those dogs.